Good morning, guys. Welcome to Madman in the Morning, bringing it to you live. Guys, it's football season. We're here. We're bringing it to you live. I'm Frank Browning, the Madman. Going to introduce our special guest as we go down the line right here.
Hey guys, I'm Brett. I was on the show last year. You probably know me as Brett the Hitman. Excited for some football this year, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I am Candy. You can call me Cowgirl Candy because I'm a big Cowboy fan, as you will find out.
That's Candy. She's a Cowboy fan, which is going to be bad for her this year.
They're hoping. They're hoping.
I'm Mayor. I know a lot about illegal activities in sports.
Awesome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
Now, last year, let's go back in time a little bit, Frank. Last year, you did an awesome thing. Madman turned Santa. You helped out a bunch of families, a bunch of kids. And really, you had how many families? 20 families?
18 kids.
18 kids.
Zach, we took care of 18 kids for Christmas last year. Awesome experience, guys. It's so humbling to watch these kids open up gifts. They wasn't going to have a Christmas otherwise. And I can't thank the people enough that were participating with us, helping us with the Madman Turned Santa. I'm looking so forward to that again this year. But we do want to start early, guys. We want to get started. We want to try to take care of 40 kids this year. And having your help is going to be awesome to do so.
So listen to the Madman in the Morning Show. We'll tell you how to help out with that and a couple other cool things we're going to do this season, including Beat the Madman. You can maybe win some money, right?
That's exactly right.
And I have beaten the Madman.
Oh, so now they want to rub it in my face. So, okay, guys.
She secretly picked against the Cowboys last year. Don't let her
Exactly. And that's what got her over the top. Guys, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This year, I put up a challenge just for Denise, who has beat me before, and a few other folks. If you can pick the games better than me, the Madman, and win the Madman Challenge, I'm going to give away $1,000. $1,000, Zach. Oh, Denise, $1,000, by the way.
Hey, listen, I think about it all the time. I'm going to beat you, Frank.
Denise knows where I work. That's more money than I've ever seen. So I think I'm going to try to win that this year.
Guys, back to the Madman Turned Santa. Before we get started, it is football season. We're all excited. We're huge football fans. But on the other side of things, we want to make sure we take care of these kids. Send those letters in. If you know a family, they've got kids, and you want them to have a Merry Christmas, send us a letter. Let us know in the letter. Let us know who you're sending the letter in for. A little bit about the kids. Make sure there's some contact information on there. Send those letters to the Madman in the Morning, P.O. Box 625, Cedar Bluff, Virginia. You can also send donations. The Madman's taking donations this year to help take care of more kids. Send those donations to that same address.
And this is so needed, Frank. Thank you so much, Madman, for everything you do. Because, I mean, last year, like you said, those kids would not have had a Christmas. And so, this guy has a great big heart, and we're asking you to have some heart to help us out this year.
Well, that's what the show's about. It's about having fun, but it's also about giving back. And we do believe in giving back. And guys, we've got one other thing coming up in November. It's been a thrill to partner with Star 95, the Bargain Finder, the people that's jumped in on the bandwagon to help with this. We're doing something at the Heritage Hall later this year with Madman Gives Back, and we're going to take care of some of those residents and also feed that staff at the Tazewell Heritage Hall as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a great holiday season. We're all going to be a part of it. And speaking of giving back, you're going to give me $1,000. I think that's how that's going to end.
Nice little way to lead into that.
He dreams a lot. He dreams a lot.
Yeah,
I do. I sleep a lot at work.
It's not going to be this guy because he's a Tennessee fan.
Oh, come on now.
Well, we got two Tennessee
I'm
fans here.
Or you either.
We know what we love.
You might put those two together, they might have some football knowledge.
That's
right.
why we're sitting beside each other.
Guys,
Keep all that football knowledge away from me.
exactly. Guys, we brought our notes. We're going to talk a little bit about some football games. Actually, we're going to talk a little local football, Zach. There's some games going on this week.
Yeah, big weekend of high school football, big weekend of college football. UVA Wise, right down the road, they begin their season tomorrow night. Thursday night against Glenville State, so it should be an exciting season down there. Bluefield College played last week against Cumberland, got a big win. So football, Emory and Henry, right down the road, starting their season against Ferrum as well. So it's going to be a big season, local college-wise, and then high school-wise, week 2. Bluefield Princeton, always a big game. Graham Tazewell, and well, the game we're all worried about. Well, except Frank. Frank's from Tazewell. Tazewell Graham, that'll be an interesting matchup. But the Richlands Union game, always a fan favorite. So a couple of great football games here locally coming up Friday night.
A lot of good local teams this year.
That game Friday Union, that game's always the 10 seconds left, 15 seconds
It's
left.
one of these,
comes down
Frank,
to the
I'm
nail
always
biter.
down on my,
Yeah.
I'm on my knees.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the game, for the last several years, and I'm like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna be there. The Richlands is gonna be on top this year, my prediction.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, it's not far. It's not a bad drive from Big Stone Gap. I'm not sure why the people at Union don't like us so much, but it's okay. We're just a rival to everybody. It
We're
seems
just
like.
good people though.
Yeah, maybe.
That has
Some of us.
that's turned into a big rivalry.
Big rivalry.
Taz-
It's almost as good as Richlands Tazewell has been in the past couple of years.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of surpassed that really, you know. And even like, well, I'm not gonna tell my age or anything, but years ago it was Gate City and you know, we fought.
How many years?
38 to nothing.
How many?
About 7 or 8, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
So
With a
Tazewell
0.
Graham, Tazewell looked good last week.
They did.
Got down big early, a couple big plays in that game. Was down 30 to 7, somewhere in that ballpark. And I think they ended up losing 37-30. So they turned it around the second half. And who knows, Tazewell might
And
get the
Tazewell
game.
has a
back.
young team. They
Very
do
young,
have
yeah.
a very young team, so I think they did excellent. They
They
did.
did.
Yeah, I was impressed by Tazewell. I was actually at that game. They didn't quit. They fought back and gave a great effort, and they've got a great young group, as Denise was saying. They're going to be good for the next couple of years, and
Lot of
both
heart.
teams coming off a loss. Graham fell to Beaver, so that's going to be an interesting matchup, and I think both teams are going to be chomping at the bit for the win.
Be interesting. Well, guys, let's talk about a little bit of college football. It's back.
Yeah,
Guys, it's
college
back.
football. Finally.
Woo! Yes.
Couple games. You know, I took a look at some things for the last week or so. Marshall, one of the games I kind of keyed on over the weekend. Marshall's got 18 starters back. As I look through and try to pick me out some teams that I like to watch, 18 starters. They're playing Miami of Ohio. Marshall's going to be tough to deal with this year with as many starters as they got coming back. And guys, Western Kentucky, they're not giving any love to these folks. Western Kentucky always shows up to play. They put points on the board. It doesn't matter who they play. You got Wisconsin, and they're getting a load of points this weekend. That might be a little closer game than people think.
Yeah, I think I would throw money at that game if I was betting.
As we all know, it's not legal.
Betting is illegal, and this is for entertainment purposes only.
Come on, Mary.
Exactly.
Got to do better than that.
Conference USA, though, speaking of Marshall and Western Kentucky, always fun football.
It is.
Now you got Fort Atlantic with, that guy down there, former USC.
The mouth of the South.
Mouth of the
Down
South.
south, yeah.
Former Southern Cal coach and former Alabama offensive coordinator, which
I won't hold that against him, but
But he's going to do good things with it, which we'll talk about Florida Atlantic a little later. But the top of that Conference USA is going to be interesting all year long.
It's going to be very interesting. And guys, is there any games that stand out to you guys at all that you're thinking about this week?
I'm thinking about, of course, the Virginia Tech, Florida State game. You know, those are two big rivals. They always have been for years. And that should be a really good game. Someone has to lose, someone's going to win. But who do you think, Madman?
Well, I'm not actually, we're going to talk a little later. I think it's on our sheet to pick these games a little
Right.
later. So as we get started, we're going to move down those
Okay,
sheets here in a few minutes.
suspense,
But
okay.
we are going to talk
But
about
now
Florida
that,
State
I'm
and
looking
Virginia
forward to
Tech.
that game.
But it is going to be a good game. You know, there's a couple other games out there as well. That Liberty Old Dominion game is going to be interesting. I know it's a lower level conference game, but that's going to be interesting. It's the debut for Liberty in the FBS,
Yeah.
as everybody knows. So they're going to be jacked up, and they're going to be bringing it this weekend as they join the elites of all the college football programs to play, and that might be interesting.
Both those programs have just skyrocketed the past couple of years. Liberty, I know Brett and I have been to Liberty Stadium many times originally it's going to the state championship there. There was, just a scale above Mitchell Stadium in Bluefield years ago, and now it's, you know, it's one of the top college football facilities in the state. So Liberty's heading up in the right direction. ODU is trying to find their footing football-wise. They'll face Tech later this year, which will be an interesting matchup, a little taste of the big boy play. But I think they're both headed in the right direction, and it's good to have more than one or two football teams in the state at the FBS level now.
Absolutely.
And I say one or two because at UVA, they're not really FBS. They're kind of, it's a club sport, let's be honest. UVA football is a club sport.
There you go.
And
A lot of fun though.
yeah, a lot of fun.
There you
glad Tech has some competition with Liberty in the state.
Yeah, and you know, a couple other games too, and we're gonna get to our picks. We told you we're bringing you picks every week. I'm still gonna bring you my dog of the week this week. We're gonna start that this week, and it's gonna go through the season. Northwestern, Purdue, another game this week that stands out to me. Colorado State, always a rival. Colorado State just got blown off the field last week to start the season against Hawaii, and they were predicted to win that game. I think they were favored by 17. Hawaii showed up, and from the very beginning, looked like they were back to throwing the football all over the field again. So, interesting week this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a big first .2 week. You had a few games kind of sprinkled there last week, but this is really the opening week of college football. So it's always exciting just to have football back, and then just some of the games we're going to talk about later are huge. So that's going to be fun. But just like the Liberty ODU game, it's it's a big game here in state, which is kind of intriguing to us, but not really so much on the national level. There's a lot of those local, regional games like Furman.
Yes.
Clemson game. That's a big South Carolina game. And then there's another big South Carolina game is
Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina and USC, as you see.
And the real USC, right?
The real USC. So a couple of battles of South Carolina going on this week.
There's going to be some battles in the South.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Well, guys, hey, let's get started. Starting Thursday night, we've got UConn, UCF, and Scott Frost is gone back to Nebraska.
Right.
UCF's got their starters back on offense this week. They've got 10 starters back. I think they've got 6 back on defense. Good chance they're going to win some games this year. Giving UConn a ton of points. Zach, what do you think about that?
I think UConn covers.
Okay.
With Scott Frost gone, I think it's a little confusion still in the locker room there. They do have all their starters back, but they've got to have a leader. So I'm yet to see a UCF leader come about, and I think they'll figure it out this week, but it may be a little late. I think they still win, but UConn covers the spread.
There you go.
I have to agree with you, Zach. I do agree with Zach. Definitely, you need the leader, and I think that is probably what's going to miss. And I'm going to have to say, UConn will probably lose but cover the spread.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Yeah, I definitely think UConn covers. UCF, they lost their head coach. Yeah, and that's a big deal. You got a lot of players coming back, but I'm agree with you guys again. You got to have a leader, and I think it's going to take them a couple games to find that leader and to get the ball rolling. To say it, but I think UConn covers.
Well, I hate to disagree with everybody.
Oh, come on, man. That's what you're supposed to do.
Hey, somebody's got to be wrong, right?
However, I agree with the fact of leadership. I think the leader on the field this year, with Milton being back at quarterback, they've got their quarterback back, they got all their skill players back. And Connecticut, poor Connecticut's defense, I don't think it's any better. They gave up a ton of points last year. Trying to find their way and work their way into this spread offense and playing defense. I think UCF covers, and I think it's probably a 28-35 point ball.
Wow, I'll be surprised.
Yeah. Colorado State. I'll start with this one. Colorado State. Colorado State showed up last week, played Hawaii. As I mentioned earlier, Hawaii showed up, took the lead, had a 30-7 lead late in the game, ended up winning the game 45-37. I think Colorado State finds a little bit of ground this week, only because their coach was suspended last week. A couple players were suspended. I think they get their feet back on solid ground. I think Colorado State covers this week. I don't think they win the game. I think it's a field goal ball game, and it is a big rivalry.
It's a rivalry, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a big game. And Frank, I'm probably going to agree with you as well. Colorado, three-point game. Just how they played Hawaii last week. It was a rough game for them, but they're going to get their feet back and they're going to settle down. It's going to be a good game for them.
Well, I'm going to go to number 3 and say the same, Colorado State.
There you go.
And I think what's going to happen, I know we haven't spoken about it, but even with Ohio, if you do not have, you have these suspensions coming in, that's going to hurt a little bit because, if you're off kilter, you don't have the leader, things are different, there's a little bit of turmoil there. So, yeah, definitely Colorado State in this one.
Go. All Colorado State, huh?
Colorado State.
Yep.
The Rams.
Not happening.
Oh, there you go, baby.
Buffalo is greater than Ram.
I hear you.
Colorado on the road, big this week.
Big, there you
It's gonna be
go.
ugly.
He's called the
I'm
blowout.
going to make a note that Zach said that.
He's
Okay.
called the blowout.
Always pick the Buffalo.
Well, we're going to start on the other end this time, unless Denise or Brett want to start with this one. This is going to be an interesting game, guys. Florida Atlantic, Oklahoma.
I'll start.
There you go.
Okay. Oklahoma, can't stand them. I just don't like them because I'm a Tennessee fan and I have too many bad memories. So I'm just going to, for the sake of just
All
don't
Tennessee
like
fans have bad memories.
Easy. Come on.
Seems like a nightmare to me.
I asked for that for the last few years. You're right, man. But I'm going to go Florida Atlantic.
I'm going to agree with you just for the exact same fact. We played Oklahoma, we got beaten by. I was a big Baker Mayfield fan last year. I did, I like Baker Mayfield. But just the idea of Oklahoma has beat Tennessee in the years past, and I'm going to go Florida Atlantic.
Zach.
Oklahoma wins, but Florida Atlantic covers. I think it's going to be a good game, and Tennessee's greatest. This has to be hard for Tennessee fans.
Live, and we're live on Facebook.
Yeah, we're live on Facebook.
I love my balls.
Oklahoma at home, and then you have former Alabama offensive coordinator. at Florida
I
Atlantic.
do not like
There you go.
Alabama, but
So-
I'll take them, okay?
So I agree with all three of you. Lane Kiffin has really done an awesome job.
Oh, who
for
is
the
Lane Kiffin?
And,
Oh, my
That guy who beat Tennessee
yeah.
everywhere he's win, I think.
Guys, I know he runs his mouth and brings a little spark back. Taking those jabs on Facebook, taking those jabs on Twitter. He's always out there in the light, but I really think he's brought a lot of light to that program. And to go 11-1 last year, they've got a ton of starters back. Florida Atlantic, guys, I would not be surprised if Florida Atlantic pulls the upset in this ballgame. But I do like having all those points.
I hope Florida Atlantic beats them because, like I said, I don't care for any Alabama anything. But
I
anyway,
hear you.
I mean, I'm a Tennessee girl, guys. I can't help it. But yeah, I have to agree with you a little bit. But I'm going to say that after this game when they play Oklahoma, it's going to be Don Meredith, turn out the lights. The party's over.
Turn out the lights, the
Okay?
party's over. I hear you.
Wow.
For Lane. But anyway,
Well,
let's go.
since we've all started one of these games, so I'm going to let Brett go this time first because this happens to be Tennessee, West Virginia.
Huge
Tell
game.
us what you think.
All right, hey, this is going to be a huge game. They're playing down the city of Charlotte. You got Tennessee and WVU. I'm going to go with my boys. I'm going to go with my balls.
I'm
we
glad I didn't
haven't-
have to pour this on you.
We've got some. They haven't really named a quarterback yet. We've got a lot of things going on.
So you're saying they're going to lose, but they're going to cover. Is that
Oh,
what
no, they're
you're-
going to win.
They're gonna-
Oh, they're going to
Oh,
yeah.
Zach, they're going to win.
They're going to. It's going. When they leave Charlotte on September the 1st, they're going to be 1-0.
I'll tell you what.
And I'm going to make a bet with you.
No. I'm going to make a bet with you. Okay. Here's what we'll do. You want Tennessee?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what I'll do. This is for you too.
I was getting ready to say mine.
Tennessee wins the game. Tennessee wins the game. As bad as I hate to do this, I will wear the Tennessee shirt of your liking
Here.
Here we go.
on the show live as we do our show, and you can pick whatever week.
Will you get ready to wear it?
Hold on a second. If West Virginia wins the game, you got to sport a West Virginia shirt on the show.
I'll do that.
I'll do it too.
I'll do that.
I'm all
Denise is in.
I am
Hey,
in.
all
I
right.
am
They
in.
gotta win the
I'm
game.
in.
All right.
I'll have to borrow someone's jersey.
Yeah, I'll have to borrow.
Well,
I'll have to
actually, I
borrow.
won't
We will,
have to
we will
because
find you the
They-
perfect West Virginia jersey.
they will.
But
Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah, there you go.
They're not expensive. Yeah, we'll find you a cheap one. It's not a big
Oh,
deal.
I did not say that.
Well, I actually like West Virginia, and I'll tell you, Will Greer transferred out of Florida. The kid has just balled out since he's got there. West Virginia's got a ton of talent back on offense. Now, I will say this, Holgerson leaves the defense in the locker room 9 out of 10 games he plays, and they give up a ton of points. We know that. But I don't think Tennessee can score with West Virginia. He may throw for 400 or 500 yards in this game because he does have the talent to do so. They may surprise me, but I like West Virginia by 2 touchdowns.
Will Greer is on Heisman chase, and it starts against Tennessee. Let me tell you something. Here's my thing about West Virginia and Tennessee, and me being a Tech fan, it just gives me heartburn to talk about these two schools. And I say
I had that
schools,
same problem a minute ago. I could taste it in my throat.
I say schools lightly because, hey, let's meet at a neutral site in the middle, and they pick Charlotte, which is not in the middle of either one of these schools. Geography's not really well studied at either one of these schools, but it's fine. They do play sometimes football. West Virginia big.
There you go.
Hey,
West
man.
Virginia big.
hey, you should.
Denise is not going to talk to me the rest of the day, which is fine.
No.
He
Yeah,
doesn't want me to.
yeah, you're out.
Hey, they use that big stage to fit all them Tennessee fans in, man. They're gonna be playing Rocky Top all night long.
Home sweet home.
All right,
Be ready for it. That's all I'm saying.
Zach, I'm gonna let you lead off with this next one. This is gonna be another interesting game, this Alabama Louisville game.
Well, there's so many questions around Alabama right now. They don't know who's going to start the quarterback. Nick Saban's he's kind of got to the point where he's aggravated about people asking about it. Bobby Petrino has coached in the SEC. These type games don't bother him. Mistresses do bother Bob Petrino, but not big games.
There you go.
And I think Louisville covers, and maybe Bob Petrino stays out of trouble. I don't know.
Is it my turn?
There you go.
Okay, I mean, I'm holding my breath back here. It's Alabama. But Louisville, I'm picking Louisville not just because I don't care for Alabama, but I think they will cover the spread.
Yeah, I don't care for Alabama either, being a Tennessee fan and all that. But yeah, I think Louisville will be able to go down there and compete. I don't know for how long though. Maybe for the first half. But yeah, Alabama, yeah, for years they've just been a standout program. But I do believe Louisville will cover.
Yeah, I like Louisville. And Zach, you're right. Both things actually, Petrino and the situation in Alabama. Alabama's got questions and more questions on defense than they've had in quite some time. 3 starters come back. They've lost 8 starters last year on defense. Louisville's got 8 starters back. I know they don't have Lamar Jackson, but Petrino always finds a way to put somebody in the quarterback position. I think Louisville scores some points. I think it's a high-scoring game, actually, and I know Alabama, normally we don't talk about high-scoring football games, but I think Alabama's going to open it up more this year, but I think the defense is suspect, and I think that game's a 42-38 ball game. I like Louisville.
Yeah, and Frank, I have to agree. I think that Alabama is going to be not as strong on defense this year. I don't see it happening, and I don't see them in the
I
championship
think they
this year.
lose 2 or 3
don't.
games this year.
I do too.
I know this is probably not one of them, but
Yeah.
I don't think we see them in that SEC championship.
If we do, it's,
Rigged?
the West
Rigged?
has collapsed.
Right, exactly,
There's 2 or 3 teams with 1 loss if Alabama's making it this SEC championship.
exactly.
It's going to be tight this year. I think there's going to be a lot of teams to surprise us.
The parity in NCAA football and in the NFL this year is unreal. We got big games starting the season starting this week. We got huge games. Normally you don't see a ton of those. We got 5, 6, 7 of those big games that can turn the whole SEC or ACC upside down,
Exactly.
starting right now. Just like, for example, this next game, Michigan, Notre Dame. This is normally later in the season. It's a big game. It's a rival game. This will set the tone for Harbaugh, who now has a quarterback. They've had the best defense in the country for 2 years in a row. They've got a quarterback transfer from out of the SEC actually.
That Patterson kid from Ole Miss.
Yeah, so I can tell you right now, they're gonna find a way to score some points. Michigan, Notre Dame, that line has jumped all over the place. They were favored by 7, they jumped back down to 2, back up to 3, down to 2. Weird way the lines move, but I really, really like Michigan this week to win the game, probably by a touchdown, to keep Harbaugh off the hot seat.
Yeah, Michigan, they're like you said, they've had the best defense for the last couple of years, and finally have that kid from that Patterson kid from Ole Miss, who has played. You look at a SEC schedule versus what Michigan normally plays. It's usually it's a lot tougher, and having that big game experience, I think is really going to help Michigan out. Having that quarterback that this is going to be another day for him. I think that's really going to help out. I think Michigan win this game by 10 points. I think it's going to be a 10-point game. I'm going with Michigan.
I'll have to say I'm going with Michigan, and I think it's even going to be more than a 10-point game. I think that Michigan had an outstanding defense last year, and I think the missing link was, in their offense, of course, and a quarterback. So I feel like they have it together now, and Harbaugh, he is a great quarterback. Owner / whatever it is, the coach.
That guy,
sorry.
yeah.
More
guy.
coffee, please. No, coach, but seriously.
What's in that coffee?
Creamer.
Oh.
But anyway, seriously, I do think that is going to pull them together, and I think they're going to be strong this
Yeah,
year.
it's gonna be tough.
I think this is the head coach on the hot seat bowl with Brian Kelly and Harbaugh.
Both, yes.
So, after this weekend, whoever loses is going to be like, oh, what's going on? But I think Harbaugh holds on. I think we're all going to agree on this one. And I'm with you, Brett. It's going to be a double-digit win for Michigan. I don't think Harbaugh is too worried about Brian Kelly. Really, the only thing Harbaugh is really worried about now is Ohio State. He's got a few weeks to think about that.
He's got some time to get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, Zach, I'm gonna let you lead off this next one, or Denise or Brett with this Urban Liar and Ohio State.
Well, I just mentioned Ohio State. They're hosting Oregon State, and
It's about 3 games, correct?
Urban,
Is it
yeah.
3 games
Yeah.
suspension?
Game suspension.
A
Yeah.
slap on
Proverbial
a
slap on the wrist, I
on the
guess,
wrist,
yeah.
I agree.
well,
I
think
and I won't
the
say-
stipulation is he can coach all week.
Yes.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
can't
Except
coach
for game
the first
one.
game.
Except the game.
Yeah, the
Right.
first game.
So I think Oregon State goes in and they cover. This is a huge spread that they cover. There's so much uncertainty with when your head coach is out. Someone's got to fill in, and it kind of dominoes all the way down. If an OC moves up, then he's got to call plays and head coach, and then it kind of trickles down. So I think Oregon State, they've always been a flashy team. They'll come in and put up some points on the board, and I think they cover the spread against Ohio State.
I'm going to agree. Oregon State. I just hope that the Urban Meyer thing does not create some kind of precedent. I think the 3 game suspension was more like you said, madman, slap on the wrist. Why do you even give him that? My opinion, without making it political. But I do feel like that Oregon State, like you said, they can come on that field, and you never know about them. They can run that score up before you know it. So I think that I'm going to have to go for Oregon State.
I agree. I think Oregon State covers. You're right. You really never know which team you're going to get on the field. Oregon State, either they're going to put up a ton of points or they're going to struggle. So I'm going to agree with you there. And the situation with Urban Meyer, I don't necessarily agree with it, but who am I? I'm with small guy. Just living in a small town in Virginia. So.
We all have our opinions.
Yeah, we all have our opinion. But the situation with Urban Meyer, it's a bad ordeal. And hopefully it doesn't, derail him too much. Those 3 games he's out, he can come back and have a team that's 3-0. But I'm gonna go with you. I think Oregon State covers.
Yeah, and I agree. I think we're all going to agree on this. I think Oregon State plays, and they just want to get out of here with a win. They don't. It's not necessarily let's put 50, 60, 70 points up. I think they get in there, they score some touchdowns, they make some changes in offense and put in some backups as the game gets late. And I'm like you guys. I think Oregon State covers the 38 points.
Is this the only one we all agree on?
We had a couple.
Oh, yeah.
We agreed on Michigan.
Yeah,
Oh,
we agree on
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I think
Well,
we
right
all
before
had
that.
Notre Dame and Ohio State equally.
Well, one of you guys in here in the middle, Brett or Denise, you guys, or
You take it, Brett.
Candy can go with Texas and Maryland.
All right, so we got, like you said, Texas and Maryland. And I think that game can go either way. Both teams, were kind of up and down last year, and have been for the last couple of years. I think it's going to be, it's just going to be. I think it's going to be a really good game. Between the two, I'm going to go with Texas. I've got just that feeling, so I'm going to go with Texas.
I have to agree with you. Texas has been down for a couple of years, and they're not used to being down. And I guarantee you, there's been a lot of hot-headed fans
You got a lot
in this
of
big state of
hot-headed
Texas. So I'm looking for Texas to definitely step it up, but they better, or there's going to be a lot more changes coming. So I'm going to say that they're going to do well under the pressure and win.
Yeah, Maryland has a lot of scandal around the program right now with the death of that kid during the summer workout.
Yes.
So there's a lot of bad juju, other than lack of a better term, around the Maryland program. And like you guys said, I think Texas is on their way back up. They had a few bad years, but Texas football is still Texas football, and usually their worst product's better than a good Maryland product. So I gotta go Texas on the road taking this one.
I kind of agree. Tom Herman, second year at Texas. First year was a struggle. Guys, two things that go into this that make a bad combination for this football game. This is why I like Texas. Last year's a 17-point favorite, first game of the season. Played Maryland. Maryland won the game outright.
Yeah.
You got the death of that kid this year. And as much as we hate to say, our hearts go out to that family because of what happened at the program. However, as bad as the program is, and to have those things go on, plus the fact that Tom Herman circled this game last year when he knew it was going to be on the schedule again, losing the game outright last year, bad combination. I think Texas wins this game big by maybe 5 touchdowns.
Even bigger than the state of Texas, right?
I don't think they take their foot off the gas. Tom Herman
I
makes a
agree.
statement in this game. 2 big ones left, guys.
I'm intrigued about this LSU-Miami matchup. Being a Tech fan, I hate Miami. And I am a huge Coach O fan. This guy,
I like this guy.
he
Yeah.
is the cream of the crop when it comes to coaches. He's an awesome guy. He knows football, and
He's a player's coach.
he is a player's coach. And that's one thing that they haven't had in Louisiana for a while. So I think Louisiana State takes care of Miami this weekend, and it might get ugly.
Just a little. I'm going to have to disagree, not because I like Miami, because I do not, but I just feel like Miami's going to win. I don't know. I just feel like that LSU's going to get better as they go along, but I think on the first game, I think Miami's probably going to have the edge.
I agree with you. I think Miami's going to come out that first game and just play hard-nosed Miami football. I think we've seen something in the last couple of years. They're getting that Miami swagger back.
Yeah.
I think we've seen that last couple of years, and I think it continues on to this year.
And they're hungry.
They're definitely hungry.
How many points is Swagger worth again?
It's not worth any, but you gotta look
Hey,
at.
Swagger is
Is that
worth
what
a few points.
I got my swag back, right?
Swagger is worth a few points, guys.
Swagger doesn't
Tell
pay
me.
me my bills, I tell you that.
As I always, my brother told me when I play football, you look good, you play good, and I agree with it.
I do too. I
So,
have to say that. Even though I haven't played.
But I think Miami, they're getting that swagger back to them, and it could be worth a few points. I'm gonna go with Miami.
So I agree, not with the two of you.
Oh my God!
I agree with Zach, and I'll tell you why. This Miami team, so up and down last year, it seemed like when something went wrong, it really pushed them over the cliff. Turnover, lose the game by 3 touchdowns. So, I think the turnover chain, although that carried them a great deal through the season, LSU and Coach O this year, I really think they put it together. I think they know they got to start week 1. They got to win this ball game, and I think they come in knowing that, playing Miami. I think LSU wins the game outright.
Yeah,
I think they win by field
But
goal.
that's the reason why I say I think they're not going to be able to succumb to that pressure if they can But they're going to have pressure because they know they need
Absolutely.
that one win. Where I think Miami's going to be the more experienced. That's the
And they do.
difference in
They
that.
got a ton. Miami's got a ton of experience back
Right.
on offense,
Yeah.
and that could be the downfall for LSU. I think he does circle the wagons, and I think they pull the upset and win this one.
Should be interesting next week to see me and him on top.
I hear you.
Where in West Virginia stuff.
Oh.
Well, Brett, I'll let Brett lead off with this next one. Virginia Tech, Florida State, their last game on the board this week, and the last game played. I think it's Monday night. It's the only show in town on Monday night. So there you go.
Gonna have to have some good tailgate food.
Oh,
I just hope I'm
yeah.
coherent by that point.
There you go.
That's what I'm hoping.
You,
I'll DVR it.
There you go.
Tell me what happens.
So yeah, like I said, we got Virginia Tech and Florida State coming up. Florida State, man, they had a rough year last year. You know, you lose your starting quarterback game one against Alabama. You know, the kid breaks his leg, and a terrible situation for them. And Virginia Tech really showed a lot last year. I mean, they played good football. They, Josh Jackson. I mean, what can you say about the kid? I mean, he was lighting it up, and he's a heck of a quarterback. And you got a lot of talent still, you know, at Tech. As bad as I hate to say this, but I think Tech, you know, I think they pull out the win. There's a lot of talent up in Blacksburg right
How
now.
painful was that to say? I could see your chest
bad, man.
almost explode.
There's just a lot of talent right up in Blacksburg this year, and I think they're going to be hard to beat. But
That hurt, Zach. I'm glad we got that on tape.
yeah, that's a dagger right there.
Say that forever.
Please don't.
I'm gonna take a little bit of sting out later.
But there's my pick. I'm going with Tech on this one.
I will say that Virginia Tech, I believe they are a great team, and I think they're going to be better this year. However, Florida State had everything that could go wrong last year, starting with week one, losing the quarterback. I feel like kind of they're one of those teams, no matter how bad they are a great team. You know, they have that, everyone expect the expectation of them being at the best. So I still think that Florida State's going to win. I really do. I feel like Florida State will beat Virginia Tech. Sorry to all my loved ones and friends out there.
There's 2 losses.
I do have to say one thing. I think my buddy B has to be pretty proud of him for picking.
I think he would be too.
So,
Speaking of Brady, hey, thanks for watching, Brady. Being a Tech fan all my life, I've had promise and had hope, and a lot of times it's been false hope. This year, I'm hoping it's not that same kind of feeling I've got this year. I feel good about this year's team. Jackson, as you said, another year older, another year with experience. I think he's going to do good this year. And the first game of the year, especially in sports, football, but more so in baseball, defense kind of controls more so than offense early on. The offense is still trying to figure out their ways. Defense, really, you just got to go hit. Know where you're going to go hit. And I think Tech's defense, although young, I think they're going to be ready to go. And Florida State, they're still a little mixed with their quarterback situation, trying to figure out which one's going to start, who's going to play more. So I feel good about Tech on the road against Florida State. I'm going to go outright win Tech and cover.
There you go.
Do I need bodyguards before I leave here?
You may. I agree with Zach.
You go out that way.
Right, you pick a different door. Guys, anytime you give Bud Foster a long period of time to get prepared, defense rules. Bud Foster is one of the best defensive coordinators in the nation. We all know that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Justin Fuente, it's taken a year or two up at Tech. He's trying to get the pieces put together. Huge coach at Memphis. They run a ton of points up at Memphis and played great. Also, Willie Taggart's first year at Florida State after Jimbo Fisher jumped ship for $100 million, went to Texas A&M. So Willie Taggart's there now. Willie Taggart's already said he's changing the offense completely.
But can you blame him for?
I don't blame him for the $100 million. But with Willie Taggart going to Florida State, he jumped ship from Oregon and went back to Florida State. He's originally from Florida. However, when you change your offense completely during the offseason and have to learn that process over versus what Jimbo Fisher was running a year ago, I know Francois is a good quarterback. I think he will do great. However, I think it's going to take some time to get his feet underneath him. I'm like Zach. I think Tech wins the game outright. I think defense dominates the game, and I think that's where we see Tech win.
I think momentum early.
Momentum early.
Whoever gains momentum
Well,
early is going to
Turnover.
I agree. I think the first quarter is going to set the tone.
That'll set the tone for the
It'll
ball
set
game.
the tone for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, there's our picks. Thanks so much, guys. We're going to do this every week. I'm thrilled to have Zach and Candy and Brett on the show with me every week. Picks every week, guys. We're going to try to bring you as much information as we can. Don't forget about Beat the Madman.
Yeah,
Don't
you win that
forget.
$1,000.
If you want to win that $1,000 and you can pick them better than me, get over to madmanclub.com. Sign up to play. Doesn't cost you a thing. If you win first place, win $1,000. And I'm giving T-shirts away, by the way. Beat the Madman T-shirts every week to the.
Which is almost
That's
as good as
awesome.
$1,000.
Awesome.
It's better than
Awesome
$1,000.
T-shirts
That's
all
right.
day.
Bragging rights. That's
Yeah.
better
There
than the
you
money.
go.
Madman,
And I want everyone to keep score because I'm going to be leading these guys.
oh,
Actually, that's going to be me. I'm going to upset everybody.
you guys,
Who's going to keep score out there? Okay, thank you.
Also, guys, back again to Madman Turn Santa. Please, guys, don't forget about Madman Turn Santa. We want to take care of as many kids as we can. Send those donations in. If you know a family and you want to send in a letter, they've got kids, you want them to have a Merry Christmas, send those letters. Send your donations or your letters to Madman in the Morning, P.O. Box 625, Cedar Bluff, Virginia 24609. You can also go to madmanclub.com to donate. And guys, while you're there, check out our photo gallery from last year.
Yeah.
Some of those folks were awesome enough to let us take pictures of their kids. We put them on our our website for folks to look at. Those are some of the kids that we got a chance to take care of last year. Man, it was a humbling experience, guys.
Made a lot of happy kids last year.
We did.
there'll be even more
Madman
this year.
Santa, that's right, that's right.
Yep.
Thanks from Madman and of course you out there that can help.
There's be one more happy kid from Raven when I get that $1,000.
There you go.
And he's going to donate it, right?
There you go, yeah. Guys, one more thing. I got my dogs this
Oh,
week.
the
Not my
dogs.
dog
You
of
let
the week.
the dogs out. Okay.
That's right, let the dogs out. Guys, starting this week, we're going to do our dog of the week every week. I'm going to bring you my dog of the week. This is the team I think is going to win the game outright. Week 1, I got a little special for you. I'm going to give you 2 this week. Guys, watch these games. I think you'll be intrigued when you check them out. The game I'm talking about first, Marshall and Miami of Ohio. Marshall, Miami of Ohio, I mentioned earlier, they got 18 starters back at Marshall. Miami of Ohio is favored in this game by 2.5. Marshall brings it this week. I think Marshall wins the game outright. If not, they at least cover. Marshall's one dog of the week this week. Watch these guys this year. I think they win 10, maybe 11 ball games this year in the Conference USA.
Go Herd.
Go Herd.
The only thing Doc Holliday doesn't even know who his quarterback is, so I think you know something Doc Holliday doesn't know, right?
Well, I'm not going to say that I talked
He's
to
the
him or
Madman.
anything
He
like
knows
that.
things.
You got him on
Madman's
speed
been investigating.
dial. Okay.
Here's
That's
another
where you were at the other night.
Exactly. Another game, guys, very, very intriguing. I can't believe that Liberty is making their debut. They're getting some points against Old Dominion. Liberty, guys, I know I'm stepping way down in class here, but they are my other dog of the week, and I'll tell you why. I think Liberty brings it this week, full force, debut game in the FBS. They beat Baylor last year. A couple big wins after that last year, and I think Liberty wins the game this week against Old Dominion.
They always come out hot, and that's why they're called the Flames.
There you go.
I just want to say too, you're just talking about Marshall Herd, and I agree. I think they're going to really do good this year and win a lot of games. If you can't make the game, Star 95 will air those games. So go to the Star 95 website, and you can listen to the game.
There you go. Thanks to Star 95. Thanks, Zach, Candy, Brett. This is the Madman Show, live every week. Make sure you tune in on Facebook. Guys, follow us on our Facebook page. Check out our videos every week. Listen to the show on Star 95 every Thursday morning, 9 o'clock. Okay? Thanks, guys. I'm the Madman, and I
TV's
am
on
out.
at 10 o'clock on Friday.
There you go. Thank
might
you.
hear